Lagos had its fair share of heartbreakers, but Emeka was in a league of his own. He was the kind of man every girl wanted, tall, dark, handsome, and dripping with confidence. His deep voice and charming smile could make any woman weak in the knees. But Emeka had a problem: he never stayed. To him, love was a game, and he was the undisputed champion. He knew exactly what to say, when to say it, and how to disappear just before things got serious. Some women cried, some cursed, but none ever got their revenge. One evening, at a party in Lekki, two of his exes, Ada and Cynthia, exchanged knowing glances. "Emeka will meet his match one day," Cynthia muttered. Ada smirked. "And when that day comes, I hope it's painful." Then came Ijeoma. She wasn't just beautiful, she had an aura that demanded respect. Unlike other girls who melted under Emeka's gaze, Ijeoma met his eyes without blinking. She was confident, intelligent, and uninterested in his usual charms. They met at a wedding. Emeka, dressed in a crisp white agbada, was used to being the center of attention. But when he approached Ijeoma, she barely looked at him. "Hi, I'm Emeka." "I know," she said simply, sipping her wine. He was taken aback. "And you are?" "Ijeoma." "That's a beautiful name." She raised an eyebrow. "I know that too." For the first time in his life, Emeka was speechless. From that day, Emeka found himself doing things he never imagined. He called first. He texted first. He waited for replies. Ijeoma played her game masterfully. She was sweet one moment and distant the next. She would accept his dinner invitations but cancel at the last minute. She would call him dear in texts but ignore his calls for days. His friends noticed the shift. "Bro, she's playing you," his best friend, Chuka, warned. Emeka refused to believe it. "She's just different." Chuka laughed. "No, my guy. She's doing to you what you did to others." But Emeka didn't care. He wanted Ijeoma. Months passed, and Emeka found himself doing things he never did before, turning down other women, showing up at Ijeoma's doorstep with flowers, even talking about the future. One evening, they sat on the beach, watching the waves. "I've never felt like this before," he admitted. "I want to be with you. Only you." She looked at him with an unreadable expression. "Are you sure?" "Yes." Ijeoma smiled and finally leaned in for a kiss. At that moment, Emeka believed he had won. But he had no idea the game had just begun. At first, everything seemed perfect. But soon, Emeka started noticing small things. Ijeoma would disappear for hours without explanation. She would laugh at texts but never show him her phone. Sometimes, she would call him another man's name and quickly brush it off. One night, he saw a message pop up on her phone: "I can't wait to see you tonight." His heart pounded. "Who is this?" Ijeoma snatched her phone. "It's nothing." But Emeka knew better. The breaking point came at a club in Victoria Island. Emeka walked in and froze. Ijeoma was sitting at the bar, laughing as a man whispered in her ear. His hand rested comfortably on her thigh. Fury burned in Emeka's chest. He stormed over. "What the hell is going on here?" Ijeoma turned, completely unfazed. "Relax, Emeka. It's just a friend." "Just a friend?" She sighed and sipped her drink. "You of all people should understand. Or do you think I didn't hear the stories about you?" Emeka's past had come full circle. Determined to save their relationship, Emeka planned the ultimate Valentine's Day surprise. He booked a 5-star restaurant, ordered the most expensive wine, and even bought a diamond necklace. "This will prove my love," he told himself. He sent Ijeoma a message: "I have something special planned for you tonight. Don't be late." She replied with a heart emoji. Emeka arrived at the restaurant, dressed in his best suit. He waited. And waited. Hours passed. Ijeoma never showed up. Then, his phone buzzed. A notification. It was a video of Ijeoma on a yacht, wrapped in another man's arms. The caption, "Best Valentine's ever Red Heart." His vision blurred. The restaurant, the gifts, the love, it was all meaningless now. Emeka staggered home, his heart in pieces. He drank, he cried, he cursed himself. His phone rang. It was Cynthia, one of his exes. "I heard what happened," she said, amusement in her voice. "Are you happy now?" he asked bitterly. "I'm not happy. But now, you know how it feels." Her words stung. The player had been played. Days turned into weeks. Emeka stayed in isolation, reflecting on his mistakes. Then one day, he picked up his phone and started dialing old numbers. One by one, he apologized to the women he had hurt. Some forgave him, others hung up. But it didn't matter. He had learned his lesson. As he walked through the streets of Lagos, watching couples hold hands, he sighed. Would he ever trust love again? Maybe. But for now, Emeka was just a man who had finally tasted his own medicine. And it was bitter.